I'm Steve for This Week with Cars, and today I think I'm going to part ways with my 1955 Caterpillar D4 Traxcavator. I haven't been using it because I have to rely on friends to move it around for me. I don't really have a use for it right now, and it's just been taking up space over here in this corner. And to get it out, I have to move all of these vehicles sitting here in front of it. So while I move all these vehicles out, take a look back at how we got to this point, and then we'll come back to here. I'll probably tidy up a few things before I let it go, and hopefully by the end of this video, this tractor will be off to its new owner. So this is a Caterpillar with a Traxcavator loader attachment on it. You can see the flatter tracks for better turning radius. This is the Traxcavator HT4 loader setup. So I'm going to take the battery cables off, take them back to the shop and clean them up real well. Okay, I have my battery cables all cleaned up, so I just need to get them back on there and put some batteries in here. Okay, I've got my cables reconnected. I've got 2 batteries thrown in there. Let's see what happens now. Okay, I'll turn it to the start position. Nothing. The solenoid is clicking. The starter is not turning, so I probably need to take the starter off and get that rebuilt. Well, I think I need to get the starter rebuilt, but it'd be a whole lot easier to move the dozer to my shop, so I've got a buddy here showing up with his truck and trailer, and we're gonna get it moved. Here comes Ticey with his amazing truck. This trailer is fitted with a giant winch, so it'll be no problem to get the dozer up there. There she goes, up onto the trailer like it's nothing. Made it. Let's get it unloaded and get this thing running. While I'm waiting for some parts, I'm going to take these 2 covers off so that I can see the track mechanism to see what it's going to take to tighten the track up. Well, it looks like something's been living under that cover. Looks pretty fresh, doesn't look that old. I got the covers off the other side as well. Much older, animal nest in this side. Alright, I got the power washer out. I'm gonna clean this up, make it a whole lot easier to work on. See how dirty the area inside the tracks is, but especially want to get all this grease cleaned off, so I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done. Okay, let's take a look at it now. A little bit cleaner in the engine bay. A lot cleaner out here to work on the tracks. I got some of the grease off the side of the engine on this side. Still needs to be cleaned up a lot more. Alright, I'm just going to check the oil here. Dipstick is hidden down here. Oil's up at the full mark, so that's good. It's kind of hard to get it back in. You can't really see what you're doing. Okay, here's the rebuilt starter. I got my new starter solenoid. If you see, this appears to be the same exact one that was on there originally. When I get the old one off, I'll be able to see if this does bolt up, but it looks like it should be a direct bolt on for that one. So that's where I'm going to start. Alright, I got the old starter solenoid out, and the bolt pattern on the bracket is the same. I held them up to each other. And it looks like it's just going to just bolt in and work great. Okay, I've got the new starter and solenoid installed. I think it's time to give it a go. Been doing a lot of work on this thing. You can see I have the radiator out right now. There's a little drive shaft that comes off of the crankshaft and goes into the hydraulic pump. So all of that's gone. You can see I've had the head off, had that resurfaced and checked, and everything that I'm taking off of it, I'm painting before I put back on. Might as well clean it up while it's off. There was almost nothing left of the seat before, so I've built a new seat. I was pretty surprised that the oil in the oil bath air filter actually looked pretty clean. I'm also taking off all of the hydraulic hoses and replacing them with good ones. Currently, I'm in the middle of rewiring the Caterpillar. I did put a new set of gauges from Stuart Warner in it. I also added an ignition switch, which I'm going to put in line with the starter solenoid. Over here in the back of my old International, you can see all the body parts that I've taken off, repainted. See the grill. A lot of these parts are very heavy. Had to take the grill off using the forklift. Here we are in the paint booth. You can see I've gone a little crazy doing all the fasteners and all the clamps for the hydraulics. Here's the hydraulic reservoir. Those are hydraulic pipes. You can see the radiator fan and shroud. Anything that I'm taking off of the tractor, I'm cleaning up and painting. So I thought that in preparation of firing this up again, I should replace the fuel filters, which are down underneath this housing here. This uses 4 filter elements. We'll open this up. They're just these really skinny cloth-like screens. So let's pop that cover off and take a look at how the old ones look. Okay, and here they are. Pretty dirty, but what were we expecting from a tractor that's been sitting outside for that long? I have the filters over on the bench now. The way this works, you just push the spring down, then you push the little pin out, and then there you go. Just slide the new filter on and reverse the process. Before you put everything together, it's a good time now to clean off the old gasket. That's why you need 2 gaskets, because there's one that goes on each side of this plate. It's the same gasket. You'll just need 2 of them. So just get everything cleaned up, put it back together. And before you go to start it, you're going to need to bleed the air out of the system. I have my Caterpillar D4 down here. This is the local off-road park, and we have a lot of cleanup to do. We have a lot of downed trees from the big inland hurricane that came through a few weeks ago, as well as we are trying to set up a bunch of new obstacles, which means a lot more stuff for me to play on in videos for you. This will be the first time that I put the Caterpillar to work, so I hope everything works out. Pushing on all those rocks has changed my clutch adjustment, so I need to go in there and adjust it. I'm losing my pushing capacity as well as my turning ability, so I'm gonna take the clutch cover off and see if I can make an adjustment to it. The clutch cover is this cover right here, so I just need to take those 6 bolts out and then pop that up. Okay, I have the plate loose. Let's take a look, see what's in here. I probably should have removed this before. You can see there's a lot of water dripping out of it now. The water only started dripping once I started to loosen the bolts. All right, I've got it cracked open. You can see the water pouring out of there. Of course, this thing sat outside for a very long time. So I left this bolt here. That way I can rotate the cover out of the way and I don't actually have to remove it. Oh boy, look at that. That should be clear. There shouldn't be stuff stuck there like that. That's just all grime and gunk that is sat on the bottom of the clutch housing. Look at that stuff. I'm going to regret trying to fix this in the field. Well, back to the drawing board. It doesn't look like this model is going to allow me to adjust it from the bottom either. I'll have to access it from the top. But I am glad that I got in here and got this cleaned out. There was a lot of water sitting in the bottom.
Back again.
Okay, how the clutch adjustment works here is you undo this nut, that one right there. It takes a 3/4 inch deep socket with a very big breaker bar, and then you spin this part with the fingers while holding the disc behind it in place, and you spin that in or out to set how much pressure you're going to put on the clutch. And this is an adjustment that you have to make quite often on these old machines. So I'm going to get this in the right place. I did push this up out of the way while I was adjusting it, so I need to bend this back so it points at the hole here. And I will get the clutch adjusted and we'll get this machine back in action. Okay, I've got it adjusted so that when I pull back, it takes some force, but I can lock it into place and the clutch stays engaged. So I think I'm going to lock it down right there. Make sure you retighten this nut really tight so that this doesn't slip. All right, I've got it back together. Here goes nothing. And it looks like it's alive again. So I want to try 4th gear now, because if it won't move in 4th gear, then I know the clutches aren't adjusted right. Moves just fine, so it looks like I've got it readjusted. bad fuel pump, so I have to pull it out with the tractor. Alright, I don't even know if this still works. Turn on the main power. Turn on the key switch. Try the lights. We do have power. Hold the glow plugs on. We'll see if she starts. It's been a couple years since I started this video, and since I moved the Caterpillar outside, I had someone come and look at it because I finally got this listed for sale and it's got an oil leak. So I pulled it up here. I need to get under it and see if I can get that fixed. I've taken the side cover off, and you can see in here it looks like animals have been in here, and it looks like this pipe right here is where my oil leak is coming from. It's dripping down there onto the ground pretty bad. So I need to get all this cleared up and then we can see what's in there. I have most of this dug out now. I filled almost a third of a bucket full of dirt, and so that I can see what I'm doing on this pipe, I'm going to get the power washer out, clean this up real well, then I can see what I'm doing and see what's causing this leak. Alright, I got everything power washed off. You can really see down inside here now. Still some mud hanging on there, but at least I can see the fitting now. That pipe looks a little bit smashed. The nut looks a little bit smashed as well. So I'll have to see if I can get that line off. That is the oil cooler line that runs up to the radiator. And then see what I can do to fix it or replace it. You can see where it's leaking from now. Leaking from the middle of that hose right there. So I need to get this pipe off, see if I'm gonna weld it and fix it, or find one to replace it. Okay, I've got the pipe fixed. Needed a weld there, 3 there. You can see all the pitting here on the end. But the rest of the pipe is in really good shape. So I hope this works, and works for many years to go, because the rest of the pipe is just fine. I have everything in and back together. Looks like it's all working fine, no leaks. And we're showing almost 40 PSI on the oil pressure gauge. I can put the side panel back on, and I think she's ready for her new owner. Well, there she is. I've got the D4 loaded on the lowboy, and it's off to its new owner.